Hello, and welcome to The Modern Romantic, where we inspire romanticism through passionate people who do incredible things. Hi, I'm acting my way through not a midlife crisis. Hi, I'm Trey. I could not think of something on the spot. And I'm joined by my delightful co host who is also not suffering from midlife crisis. Hi, Emily.
We are early life crisisers.
We are.
And
It's not
whether we're
midlife.
midlife or not, it will never be midlife.
True, because we're always living life to the fullest, like
That's
every
right.
day. How are you, Emily?
I'm living life to the fullest every day.
Oh,
How are you?
I have to say I'm ecstatic. Can I share some news?
You must.
Okay. So I know I've shared it with you, but for our audience, I have been given the clear to announce that I have been cast as Claude Frollo in a local production of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So, yay! I'm so stoked. This has been on my bucket list roles for a while. This show is rarely ever done. It is a show that I can use more classical technique in, which I'm ecstatic about. So I'm very excited to be joining the Little Theater of Gastonia in their production of Hunchback of Notre Dame, July 24th through August 2nd. So if you're in the Charlotte area, please go search tickets. There is a pay what you can night available for those that
Mm.
may not be able to afford the full price tickets. There is a pay what you can evening. Details are on their website, and we'll try and include that in the show notes. But that's my big news. Yay!
Very nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. I feel like I want to ask though, before we get to our guest,
Mhm.
because I know that's what we're here for, but I want to know why this role is on your bucket list.
So, lower voiced men's roles are very seldom in musical theater. Like you can think of The Beast and Beauty and the Beast. You can think of recently Hades from Hadestown.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but lower voiced men in particular are rarely ever written for, and this is one of those roles that was a almost a one-to-one transfer from the animated movie into on stage. Of course, voiced by Patrick Page. So it's nice to be able to walk into a show and know that it's going to fit my voice better than some things. The higher that with other things that are written for like baritones, they expect you to be able to hit like super high notes. My voice does not do super high. My voice does like low. So it's I also look at it like a character that is, yeah, he's a villain, but with every villain, there's a lot of complexity to him. And I don't always just want to play him as a monster. I want to make sure that his humanity is also present at the same time as his obsession. So I enjoy these complex characters.
Awesome. Good answer.
Thank you. You know who else I enjoy? Our fantastic guest this evening. Emily,
Excuse
so
me.
sorry. Would you do us a favor and introduce our fantastic guest?
Absolutely. We have from television and film and theater and improv and stand up and comedy, and I guess that is stand up. Anyway, we have Vicki Kelleher with us today. Welcome to the show, Vicki.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much for saying yes.
You listed so many things there. I'm like, wow, she sounds impressive. But then,
Impressive and funny.
well, we'll see.
Well, for our audience that may not be familiar with you, I would love for them to hear your origin story into really into art in general.
Art in general. That's a deep one. Uh,
We're going to start deep, I guess.
it all started when I was 4. No, I always had an inkling toward, I think, as I mentioned, when I was very late to set up, that I have ADD, but it's undiagnosed ADD. So as a kid, it just showed up as somebody who couldn't stop talking. And a good place to send a kid like that is into the drama department and into the choir, which is where I kind of started. I had my first solo in 4th grade. Yes, You Light Up My Life by Debbie Boone. Because, you know, what fourth grader can't relate to the deep romantic love that is You Light Up My Life?
Right?
Um,
Right. That's
and then,
right on, isn't it?
right. And by the way, in fourth grade, I think I was just under 50 pounds. I was the size of probably I want to say a 6-year-old. I was very, very, very tiny. So even better that I was like basically a toddler singing about love. And I just really, I remember getting the butterflies and being like, oh, I like this. I like this feeling of being on stage. And then I did not get cast in hardly anything in high
Oh.
school or junior high. In retrospect, I know it was probably because I was so tiny that, you know, I wasn't going to be the lead in a musical, like a romantic lead, when I didn't hit 5 feet until almost 12th grade.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
yeah, so the one role I got was like the little girls in Annie Get Your Gun, because they were like, yeah, we believe her as a 6-year-old. So I think that might have been part of it. But I did the drama department. I was in the drama class, and my Mr. Fretland, who was a wonderful teacher at Harding High School in St. Paul, Minnesota, suggested that I do the debate and speech. And I didn't know what that was, but it was basically reading a poem. So kind of doing a monologue. And once again, my monologue was about having a dead child. So.
Wow, just heavy things in your
Oh
younger
my
ages,
goodness.
right?
Ironically, I have had many a dead or molested child in my acting career. That seems to be a kind of casting for me. So I guess it was foreshadowing. But and I won some local, I went, you know, to nationals or whatever, and then that was kind of the start of it. I really liked it. I loved the idea. I love figuring out how things should sound. And your co-host just went into space. He's gone. He disappeared into space.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Did he go into a black hole?
Yeah, probably. That's it's hard to stop him from that sometimes. So we
Yeah.
just keep it rolling. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know.
See you,
Yeah,
Trey.
I don't know how he looks on your screen, but on my screen, he's frozen kind of like this.
Oh, he's not frozen at all. It's literally just space.
Oh, bizarre. I'm sure he'll be back in a moment.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, because it's frozen that way, I didn't even notice. Sorry, Trey. Sorry, Trey. That looked so normal to me.
Yeah. And then I went to college and I was going to be a writer. And then it was freezing because it's the University of Minnesota and it was very cold. And I wanted to get to the library in the warmest way possible. So I cut through the theater department and there was a sign up that said auditions. And I was like, I'll just audition with my high school debate, dead child monologue.
Right.
And
why not?
Because why not?
Yeah.
And I got cast in the MFA production of The Three Sisters in a very, very tiny role, but it was the beginning of the end. I was like, oh boy, I love this so much. So fate and cold weather, apparently.
Yeah, it was a good fit.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So since we're waiting for Trey,
sure.
Yeah. So you at some point left Minnesota.
I did. I was in my third year of college, and my now husband was a stand-up comedian, and he decided to move to LA and break up with me.
Oh.
I know. And I said, oh, that's so weird because I'm going to do an exchange program in LA for my last year of college. What a coincidence. So I stalked him, is what that basically is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then I moved here for my last year of college and came to start the world out here because why not? I was madly in love with this dumbass who broke up with me.
It's a story for many, though. I get it.
Yeah, you can relate. You stalked somebody?
I don't know if I've stalked anyone, but the whole I ended up here because of a guy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It's such a trope. Ugh.
It is. Yeah.
Ugh. I know. Yeah. but we're coming up on our 30th wedding anniversary this summer, so I guess
Hooray!
it's okay so far.
It's working out for a little while.
Yeah, so far. We'll see.
So comedy is like this thing that I feel like, I don't know if that takes a different kind of guts than like regular stage performance. Maybe it just seems that way to me. But I feel like that's something that, I mean, was that an accidental thing, or is that because of him, or like how did that?
The comedy side of my life, I would say, I think it was also started, well, a couple parts. One, again, ADD is a real gift and a curse because you don't edit so much your mouth, which can make you very funny kind of by accident because you just say things you're thinking that other people might not have said out loud. And then I think because I was so little, physically little, I just had to find a way to make people laugh, probably so they wouldn't beat me up. You know,
it's a survival tactic then.
Survival techniques. That's right. That's right. But a lot of people do, because I started stand up just last year, and a lot of people have told me that that's like their greatest fear is stand up.
Okay.
And I guess I just had I had 27 years of being an actor. So it kind of felt like it prepared me a little more than maybe somebody who just never been in front of anybody.
Sure. I could see that. Yeah. Because you're at least comfortable on the stage. You're comfortable with the crowd and things like that. It's just a matter of the funny part.
Yeah. Well, yes, the funny part. And there's a lot of I don't know. There's a lot of how my brain just looks for that in day-to-day life, and then remembering to write it down and figure out how it could be, funnier, and studying acting for so long and reading so many scripts. And I've been an acting coach as well. So you get something and you get 15 minutes to get the person, making it really funny. So you got to really learn fast how to find it. And I've had many years of that. So
yeah, that would be a skill.
Yes.
Yeah, because Trey and I started the podcast when we worked together at in a retail store.
Long time ago
now. Yeah, and we would always say, "Oh, we're hilarious. We should start a podcast." And there was a Comedy Zone in town, and they did like stand up classes and things like that. I looked into that once, but I was like, no, that's too stagey for me. We could start a podcast. And then like 8 years later, when the pandemic hit, we actually started the podcast. And I don't know if we think we're as funny as we did then. But that's the comedy part of it.
For a minute, so
we have,
something's working.
I looked and we have 160 some episodes now, and I was like, what?
That's
I
amazing.
lost count. I wasn't even paying attention to that anymore.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, that's really exciting.
Well, congratulations. That's very cool. Because a lot of people talk about things and don't do them.
Yes, that's true. And maybe we wouldn't have had it not been for the pandemic and having been furloughed and having months off at a time. And
I think a lot of life changes happened because of the pandemic. A lot of people went, wait, what am I doing? Who am I actually? If I'm not just in the grind and just trying to make, money for rent, and like, what is my purpose?
It was kind of a nice reset button to a degree.
Yeah. I mean, obviously certainly a privileged part of that. There were also other people who, had a much worse experience and just couldn't, feed their children and awful things like that too. Not to discount that, but just, yes, the gift, if you had it, if you were given it, was a lot of free time to kind of, oh, look at that, Trey's back.
I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
Momentary internet outage.
Oh, fun.
He's back.
We were talking about how this is your 136th episode or something.
160 something. Yeah.
Has it been that many?
Yeah, it has.
Oh my God.
I know. I saw it today and I was like, what? I think because I went on IMDb to look up you, Vicky, and I wanted to make sure there was something about anyway. And because my IMDb is like logs right into our page, I saw how many episodes we had that way, and I was like, oh, that
Like,
can't be us. That's
wow,
someone else.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Thanks to Sandra for updating our IMDb for us.
God.
Because otherwise I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah. I know. I never, when I go on to look for something and mine pops up and I'm like, how many? 70 credits.
Yes.
It doesn't, because it's time. You're just, all the things just, I think if anything in our lives, if other people had some kind of tracking system that told them how many times they had, driven their kid to school, and they would be like, what? How can it be that many? But nobody keeps track of most things.
Right. Yeah. And I noticed your 70 some credits as well and was like, wow, I feel like that could be a lifetime for someone,
Yeah.
and that could be, you're just go, living life, doing your thing, and you don't sit and put notches on your belt like that.
No, I don't. No, I forget there's a belt.
We got a note from Sandra off to the side. According to her, apparently needs to be updated because we're actually up to 173.
Oh.
Well, look at that. Even more. Dang.
We have to do something when we hit 200.
Yeah, you definitely do. Cakes and balloons and things.
Ooh, yes. Ooh, mm-hmm.
I'll arrange for the confetti to fall from your ceiling, Trey.
Yay! I'll arrange for a glitter bomb.
No.
Okay, how about 2,000 ducks in the pond that's near your house?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Okay.
Are we talking real ducks or like rubber ducks?
Yes. You will not know which. It's just 2,000 ducks.
It's okay. Okay.
Vicky,
I'll post about that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're okay.
The one thing that as I was going back and looking through them and revisiting some of the things that you've been in, the thing that I notice in all of your acting credits is how present you are. And that's not something I can say about every actor, but you seem to be extremely present, very in the moment with you.
Oh no.
Oh no.
It happened again.
He's so out of the moment right now.
Yeah, he was. You're very present, and then he's not present.
And then he's completely gone.
Yeah. I'm going to screenshot this because on my screen, again, he is frozen like this.
I see him that way now. I see him that way now.
Ready? There. There. Captured forever.
And then he just disappeared. Oh, this must be killing him. This.
I'm sure that's frustrating. Yeah.
Is he in the same town as the
No, he is in the Carolinas.
So maybe there's a storm or something.
There could be, yeah. He's near Charlotte. So I don't know. I can't just walk to his house.
No,
to find out what's going on.
I was gonna say I was waiting for yours to go out, but no, it'll be a different.
No, it's totally different. Thankfully, different state, different everything. So
yes,
that's one nice thing about
Carolinas. Sorry.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, I've lived all over, and that's definitely one of the more beautiful places I've lived.
Yeah.
Well, and you were out east at some point recently, were you? Am I wrong on that?
My daughter and I went to New York last June.
Okay.
Just for a visit. It was her first time. She's 15, so 14 at the time.
Awesome.
And yeah, it was pretty wonderful. It was fun to show her the city and go to the shows and do all the things that, I've been to New York many times, but I love it every time.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to live there, but
yeah, same.
Yeah, at least not at this. I feel like I missed that boat. I should have moved there when I was like 18, and then you're fine living in a closet with 7 other people, But once you get past a certain age, I don't know. I feel like you're like, no, I can't. I can't do that. I can't trade my money for a shoe closet.
Right.
But I do love visiting. So yes, we
Yeah.
did see, and then we come back to Minnesota usually every year. Although this year we're not able to. Prices for tickets though, oh my god,
I know. Yeah.
$800 a ticket. I was like, yeah, I love you people, my family, but geez,
Yeah, that's especially if you're flying more than one person.
yeah,
It gets really, really pricey.
yeah.
Hopefully everything will calm down at some point here.
Jeez, I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of this timeline.
Exactly. I'm not a fan of this timeline either.
Yeah.
You mentioned New York. There's something about New York, if you haven't been there, that I noticed was like the vibe that people talk about New York having is very real, and you don't
Mhm.
really realize it until you're there.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that, like, if you've not been there, it's something they talk about, but you don't really know.
Yeah.
Until you're there, and then it's like, oh, absolutely, this is what they're talking about.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. And it costs $1 billion to eat out every day because, yeah, I had a friend who lived there. She lived there for 9 years. She never once turned on her stove or her oven, and she actually used it for storage, which is very common there. For her, she was writing on a show, so she was just gone all the time, and then she would just get food to go. But I was like, I came over and I opened her oven and there was pants in there. And I was like, what the heck? She's like, oh, I don't cook. This is New York. You don't cook? I went, okay. I can't relate to that.
This is my dresser now.
Yeah, exactly. But she needed it because they're small apartments.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, that's I went to New York Fashion Week there.
Oh, okay. That's
and that
fancy.
that was really fun. That was everything I hoped and dreamed it would be too.
Yeah.
And I remember we did that where we were like, oh, we'll just get lunch at the hotel. Like there's a little cafe there, whatever. We'll just get lunch at the hotel. And it was like, it broke us.
Yeah.
Lunch at the hotel was insanity.
Yeah.
It was it was still worth it for the experience. But yeah, you're right. Eating out is rough there.
Oh, he's back again.
He's back again.
I am so sorry, both to our audience and to you, Vicky. My sincerest apologies.
It happens.
You don't have control over it, do you?
I don't. I wish that I did.
If you could just get control over that.
We got a good screenshot out of it anyway.
We did. It was beautiful.
Oh, great.
Oh, I'll send it to you.
Oh, please don't.
No? Okay. I'll send it to Vicky.
Yes, please.
So we were talking about how she'd gone to New York and took her daughter, and we talked about comedy a little bit and how she got into that. Where shall we go next?
A question about comedy, because I am not somebody that does comedy very well, but I tend to think of it in terms of like a 0 to 100 whenever you're applying it to acting. Like 0 being it's more serious, turn it up to maybe like 25, you get some like slice of life, but a little bit of comedy thrown in, and then full 100 is like full camp.
Yeah.
When you're approaching a script and reading through it, are there indicators to you to like identify for you how much of like that comedy approach that you need to take, or do you just kind of like apply your own Vickiness to it?
Kind of a little of both, but I would say usually you get a really good idea of what, for example, I had an audition last week for Shrinking, right? If you've seen the show, you know the tone. So you know the levels that they go to. So most of the time you're given a good barometer of, the way I would audition for a role on Shrinking would be really different from if I auditioned for a multicam sitcom. Like, are there any multicams? Right. Well, yeah, George and Mandy. That's George and Mandy's First Marriage is a multicam sitcom. So there's a very different music and a very different levels of kind of how much you can bump up the energy and I mean, people call it going bigger, and I don't love that because it's not, that doesn't track for me, but the stakes are much higher. I used to teach at a place called Leslie Kahn and Company. They're wonderful. Leslie's amazing. And there was a teacher there who used to say in a sitcom, a sitcom versus like West Wing or like, very episodic. On a sitcom, the stakes of having pepperoni pizza would be huge. You'd be like, there's no pepperoni on my pizza, like crazy. Whereas on the West Wing, the stakes of a nuclear attack would be very low. They'd be like, sir, there's a nuclear attack about to hit them. Right. So it's like the stakes are just very different depending on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then ultimately, I think you can't help but bring yourself, because there you are. I read the most beautiful book. I just finished it last night. Wally Lamb's. Have you ever read any Wally Lamb books? He wrote She's Come Undone. And I Know This Much Is True. Just a beautiful writer. But in the end of the book, somebody asked the artist how much of him was in his art. And the person said, imagine taking a stained glass window, like I'm, as the artist, am a stained glass window, and you shatter me, and then you build a new piece of art. There's still pieces of you in that as you create. I just thought that was such a beautiful way to, and I have to memorize the exact phraseology now because I love that image of there is still pieces of you, but you've made a whole different thing, hopefully.
Yeah.
I
like that a lot.
I'm curious, Emily, because to take that analogy but apply it to your art, is there something inherently Emily that you put into each of your photographs that you take, or into any of the costumes that you do? Or do you feel like it's based in something else?
Oh, well, in costumes, it's pockets.
I learned how to do pockets because I love them so much. I sew as well.
Oh, awesome.
And it's a deal breaker if something doesn't have a pocket. But if I love it, even if it doesn't have a pocket, now I put a pocket in. I've learned how to do that.
That's awesome. Yes.
Because how do you not have pockets? I don't understand.
Hashtag justice for pockets.
Right?
Justice for pockets. I can get behind that. Yeah. Yeah. And I've found myself putting pockets in things that would normally never have pockets, like a cape.
That's great.
Yeah. Something that's like, or a more fitted dress. I will find a way to put pockets in that thing. So yeah, there are surprising pockets and things. And I usually make them, if I can, I'll make them as large enough to fit an entire water bottle in it so that you cannot tell there's a water bottle there.
That's awesome.
That's the idea. Yeah. Like I want a big cell phone to fit in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I made a pattern of the perfect size pocket. And then I just got a dress at the thrift store that I really love. It's like 2X. It's too big, but I'm like, I can sew it. I can make it smaller and I can put pockets because the seams are on the side and it will fit my big phone.
Yes.
Oh, there's my daughter. Look at that beautiful girl.
Oh, yeah.
She's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
That's a great smile.
She has a great smile. So yes, I think you can't help but imbue anything creative with part of who you are. That's part of being creative, is that you're putting a little bit of your soul and energy into something. Otherwise it's just, a spreadsheet.
Yeah. And that's why people would hire or commission you to do something artistic, because they like what you bring to it.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume.
Well, and in this world of actors, there's a lot of stuff that you have no control over. One of them being your essence, right? Like who you are. Did you ever read the book Blink by Malcolm Gladwell?
Heard of it. Have not read it.
Fascinating book. Recommend it.
Right.
But his whole thing is that people innately have an instant reaction to somebody and they've made a decision. It's like instinct that they have to have basically so they don't die. but
Yeah.
but it's become, part of, so that within the first 10 seconds of meeting somebody, you make some sort of judgment based in your experiences in life, whatever. And this isn't a side part, but in the book they talked about, I think it was Germany, but not 100%, where they did blind auditions for cellists. They did blind auditions for the first time, and for the first time a woman cellist was accepted into the orchestra, because they basically figured the minute the people saw a woman, they changed how they heard her music.
Wow.
Because they
Wow.
just decided that men are better at it. And so once they did a blind audition, women started getting in, and you don't even know that you're necessarily doing that. My essence as an actor, I remember when I was like 27, 26, I was just starting here in acting classes, and I still looked very, again, when you're short, they think you're younger, which is
Mhm.
like a gift. And again, when you're young, you don't want to look younger. And I remember my acting teacher at the time said, when you're in your 40s, you're really going to start working, because my essence just felt bossy and in charge, and things that weren't matching the way I looked exteriorly. And I remember at the time being like, my 40s, you may as well have told me it was 100. I was
Yep.
like, that's 1,000 years from now. I'm not. And he was right. Like, my essence has always been the mother, the cop, the lawyer, I've always been somebody who seems like they're in charge in some way. And the roles were not, I wasn't getting them. So I think people instantly, I have a joke in my comedy where I say, I have a condition where anywhere I go, people think I work there. And it's true. I could be anywhere and people think I'm an employee there. There's something about my essence, something about how I am instinctually perceived. And as an actor, you have no control over that. That is going to be who you're perceived as.
Yeah.
I could, for a
Mhm.
million years, try to be perceived as the sweet, young, dumb, blonde kind of, and nobody would buy it. I can do that. I love doing that. I love playing a dumb character, but nobody instantly sees that in me. So, and we're in the picture of, in the business of how people perceive you. So,
Have you done that where you felt like that type of thing was such a stretch for you?
done like a character where it's a
Yeah,
stretch.
like where you had to play someone dumb or somebody who is so the opposite of what you
Yeah.
would normally do.
In theater, I've done that. And that's where you kind of get more freedom. I mean, you probably
Yeah.
know that, Trey. When you do theater, they give you a lot more freedom. You can play different age ranges because it's theater. You don't have to be, the actual age of your character necessarily. I wrote a scene that where I played a really ditzy slut. Not to slut shame. She was having a great time. But and I had so much fun and I loved it. It's not something I have ever been hired to do, because that's not, they won't, that's just not it.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's a show called the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee that
Love,
is
love, love,
it's an amazing musical,
love it.
but all of the roles are supposed to be like 10 to 13-ish, but they're
Mm-hmm.
all played by adults.
Yeah.
And the conception is that they're in their 20s, but from the audience, they're dressed in a manner that they are perceived as like 10 to 12,
Yeah.
which is the beauty of the theater. But you try to translate that onto screen, and they're going to look at you like with cameras that are 5
Oh,
inches
yeah.
from your face,
Well,
like, what?
we learned our lesson with Dear Evan Hansen, did we not?
Oh, a
Dear Evan
30.
Hansen, who looked 37 and was supposed to be, an 18. I love Ben Platt. I got to see Ben Platt on Broadway in that show.
Yeah.
Amazing. He's not 17. And why would you put him
No.
in that wig? Ugh. It was just painful. It doesn't translate.
It was rough. I
Yeah.
love you, Ben Platt. I really do, but
Love.
that was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how the world perceives that as we instead of being a some kind of noble stretch of a character, it is too much for an audience
In
to really,
when it's on film, you mean?
or just the age difference when you're
Yeah,
pushing it that far.
on film they won't accept it. In
Yeah.
theater, all bets are off. You can do anything. You can play any age. But yes, when it gets, we have different expectations. You know, they're not going to have a bunch of 12 and 13-year-olds do Putnam County Spelling Bee 8 shows a week and be, you know, they couldn't probably afford it. But also, it's just not, you know, we go to the theater, we suspend it. But when you go
Yeah.
into film or TV, there's no suspension allowed,
Yeah, you want to
you
believe
know?
that's real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So this is a question that I've pondered before, but I'm curious your response. For things like theater or things like television, like we're
Mhm.
still effectively sitting in a dark room with four walls watching a screen, like something sometimes with a proscenium, proscenium being the screen around the thing that you're looking at. So it's still
Mhm.
being framed in a method. So what is it about walking into a theater where you're watching a musical, a play, what have you on stage, versus walking into watching a movie or something being filmed and played back for you? Why is there such a disparity between the suspension of disbelief?
I think it's as simple as the camera gets so much closer. And when you have, because you're not going to have a film that's all wide shots. That's why we don't like to watch theater that's been filmed, because usually it's just a wide shot of the stage. And you're, when you're in it, when you're in the theater in the moment, you're, you know, you can't see their faces that, you know, because they're 40 feet away, or depending on if you got the cheap seats. But when you're on film, and especially film, not even just TV, but film, you know, they're here. They're like right up in your business, and you can't hide much there. So it feels more intimate. It feels more personal, I think, than the theatrical experience. Both are
That
wonderful.
that and we all grew up putting on plays or in a play at school or some form of that, and we were exposed to that, most of us anyway, to some degree. So the idea that a play can have that stretch because we played a tree and we played a caterpillar and we played things that were bigger stretches than, just an age difference. So
Yeah,
I feel like that's something that is like from a young age we're used to
yeah.
thinking in that way. So I feel like that might be part of it too.
But I'll tell you, the acting is really different.
Mhm.
I've had many clients as a teacher and as a coach where I could tell you within 5 seconds that they're theater actors, and I can go, I love you and I love what you do. That will not translate. The way that you're doing it will not translate in film and television. You really have to find, you have to bring it much more internal for us to believe you. Otherwise, it just feels like you're pushing at us and you're making us, and you're, you know, we feel distance because you're putting too much theatricality into it. But that being said, I went to the University of Minnesota. I have a theater degree. I was on stage, and one of the teachers basically said, "You do so well in film."
Ow.
And I was like, yeah, I was like, ow. But he wasn't wrong, because I've never, especially at that point, I'm very, everything I do feels a little more internal and a little more kind of like, I think before you were talking about being present and connected.
Yeah.
When I'm present and connected with you guys right here, and you can see my face, and it's a whole different world than when you're 90 seats back, and I am just not able to. I personally have never really been able to be the person who can project to that emotion to the back of the theater. With comedy I can, because you can just be broader and have the stakes be higher. But somehow with theatrical stuff, with like drama, I don't know how Laurie Metcalf does it. She's a goddamn American treasure.
Yes, she
I would
is.
pay so much money to go see her in the she's in on Broadway right now.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, is what play is she? Oh God, all I know is Meryl Streep said she just saw her do this play. It's not Proof. Yeah,
I'm
by
looking it up.
Is it Death of a Salesman?
Death of a Salesman. That's right.
Okay.
She's doing Death of a Salesman, and Meryl Streep did an interview for Devil Wears Prada too, and she was like, I don't know how Laurie Metcalf does it. She's a miracle to watch. I would pay so much money to go see her in that right now because she
And
does
She's
she's
all of it.
and she's, I believe, from Chicago. So
She is, yeah, Steppenwolf Theater and that whole.
yeah, that's exciting for me because I grew up near Chicago. So I like seeing the people from Chicago also do well out there.
Yeah,
So yeah,
me too. My best friend's from Chicago.
yeah.
sigh of the person not from the Midwest.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Um, Going back to that earlier comment about being present, it's I would like to clarify to say that there are actors that I see that are very energized and they're just very on all the time, and then there
Mhm.
are actors who I meet that are just very much themselves, who are present both on and off camera.
Yeah.
And that's the sensation that I get from the roles that you've been in. Like when I watched Ghosted, when I saw you in NCIS, when I saw that random episode of Bones that you were in.
Yeah.
Each of those times, it's you're showing up very much as yourself, and so where does that groundedness in your acting come from, do you think?
Uh, I guess partially. Again, how many times am I going to mention ADD? But I will. Uh, I do think one of the blessing curses of ADD is there really isn't, there's a reason that we are time blind because you're just right here, which is why you don't remember you have something in 5 minutes. Because, I would go to acting class and I'd literally just not think about the fact that I have kids at home for that 4 hours. And I guess not everybody can do that. I guess people are like, their brains are sitting there in the future or the past, or they're just back and forth and I don't know. I can't do it. Once I'm here, I'm in
Yeah.
and I'm present. And when I'm acting, I certainly feel that way, especially because, you do these shows, you get I just did an episode of General Hospital, which is also just fascinating, a whole new world.
Yeah.
I was there and that's not actually even the greatest example. I will say before that, you go to a set, you are there for 12 hours, you get to act for maybe 15 minutes. If you're lucky, if it's a good scene and that's just, you don't, it's not, everything is about the business around it. So you're acting, you get so little time that for me, it's very easy to just be like, yay, we're acting now. I think it's Laurence Olivier who said, they pay me to wait, I act for free. And that's how I feel. They pay me to wait, and you will.
Yeah.
You wait and you wait and you wait. And then when you finally get to act, it's so nice to just be like right there in it, experiencing presence. And so I think it's probably a combination of those things, maybe.
That's a great answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely more waiting in film than theater.
Oh my goodness. Theater? Yeah, theater's not even close. You do all your rehearsals and stuff. Yeah, it's so much waiting. So much sitting around and eating craft services. How everybody isn't 1,000 pounds, I'll never understand. Because so much food.
Oh, go ahead, Trey.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
What's something about acting or comedy or anything that you do creatively that makes you go, yes, this is why I do what I do?
I feel like I was put on the planet to be a connector.
Okay.
I've had a couple friends mention this to me, and it was the greatest compliment ever. They were like, you connect people. Like, I have a game night once a month we play running charades and celebrity and all the
Fun.
good games.
Mhm.
And there's anywhere from 15 to 25 people that come, and almost never is it the same people. It's from all the millions of different places I've met people in my life.
How wonderful.
It's great. It's great. And I think that's why I love acting too, is like you connecting with somebody, you connect with your own, especially with comedy, when you're doing something and something comes in your brain, you're like a conduit to something that was so funny. And you're like, where did that come from? I think that's what brings me joy, is the connection and the freedom of my right brain being wide open and going, let's see what happens.
Right. I love that too. We have a question from our last guest. We do this thing on the show where we ask our guest to ask a question of our future guest, and then we ask, so we're kind of paying it forward. So last week we had a chat with Isaac Pryor, who is an artist. He does a lot of line drawing kind of art with textures and things like that. He asked the question, and we told him who you were, so he knew who he was asking.
Oh, okay. So
it's not blind.
I see.
It does help a little bit.
Yes.
So the question from him to you is just why. He wants to know why you got into acting and things like that, because to him, that is something so beyond him.
Interesting. Geez, I would have asked him the same question. Why? Because drawing, drawing is like, that would be my idea of purgatory. If you said, you're now in hell, start drawing things, I'd be like, well, forget it. Okay, that's me in hell. Stick figures galore. I think it's probably connected to kind of what I said right before, that I do it because it's such a raw form of human expression. Because as we get into this weird AI world, I know that human beings, human nature, your humanness, will not be duplicable. Is that the word I want? I don't think I feel like we always know when it's an AI person, because there's just so much innate humanity that can't be replicated. So I think even if they start replacing TV actors with fake AI things, they'll never be able to do that with the theater.
No.
They'll never be able to put a robot in to do Death of a Salesman. There's, one of my other all-time favorite books is Station 11, where it's kind of post-apocalyptic, and there's a group of actors that ride around in a caravan around this decimated country because people still want to feel emotions and things that they just won't get by living their day-to-day lives. And I feel like I'm a kind of conduit to that. So it's a big part of why making people laugh is, one of my favorite things to do.
And I believe that even though it is entertainment, it is important.
Mm-hmm.
Connecting people to emotions like that, for sure.
Absolutely. Even shows where you go, Grey's Anatomy, some people might go, ugh. But I think people cry watching Grey's Anatomy that would otherwise not cry in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to. You have to do all those things. You have to cry and laugh and, all the things that are human expressions, you have to do them. And if you're a person who is in the middle of some place in the world where that's just not acceptable, they still watch a TV show and laugh or cry because one of their favorite characters died or whatever. I think it's so important to our humanness.
Yeah, I think everyone has some story, whether it be theater or film or television, that really struck them somehow and affected them and changed their life somehow.
What was yours?
Oh, that's such a wow! What a good question. Well, early on, it was probably The Princess Bride.
Oh, one of
Oh.
my all-time favorites.
Yeah. Yeah,
Great
I saw
movie.
that. I'm old enough to have seen that in the theater.
I did too.
Yeah. And it changed everything. Yeah.
Yep.
Dang.
I was also young enough that I did not realize right away that the six-fingered, or not the six-fingered, that the Dread Pirate Roberts was actually Wesley. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen. First of all, if you have watched this show and you have not seen The Princess Bride yet, go watch it. Like,
Go
after the
watch it.
show is
Oh
done,
my
that is your
gosh.
next step, is to go watch that.
One
And don't
of the
come back
all-time
here until you
favorites.
have.
And actually, you don't have to go too far because we did do a live script reading of The Princess Bride. So I do highly recommend it. It is different than the movie, but we still did a good job.
Only
That's
because
awesome.
it's us. Yeah.
I love that movie. And I agree. I think it changed a lot of people's lives that way.
Mhm.
What was yours, Trey?
Yep. What is yours?
I was truly trying to think about it. Believe it or not, Into the Woods, the Sondheim musical.
Okay.
Um, because we've talked about the reality of things and how theater can be a suspension of disbelief. But the thing that I love about Sondheim is no matter if it's a suspension of disbelief, he's still holding a mirror back up at society.
Mm-hmm.
And people go into the theater thinking, oh, haha, this is, a fun little thing about fairy tales connecting each other.
Yeah.
And you walk out of it going, these are real people going through real things in a
Yeah.
fantasy setting. And you get into act two and you watch how these people have to deal with the repercussions of the choices that they made after the quote unquote happily ever after ends. And it is some of the most heartfelt displays of humanity that
Mm-hmm.
you could possibly get out of a musical. And so I remember listening to that score and watching it for the first time and sobbing my eyes out when you get to the end and you hear no one is alone. Be careful the things you say, children will listen.
Yeah.
Those are so incredibly powerful songs. So
Yep. I
that's
agree.
that's the first time.
How about you, Vicky?
Mine was probably General Hospital.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I remember would watch with my sister and my mom. So there was already the community of we'd lay on the couch together and watch the show. So we had a language of, and it was during the Luke and Laura, which
Oh,
was
yeah.
the biggest, most
The
watched.
original one.
Yeah,
Okay.
was the most watched TV wedding in the history of television at that point.
Yeah. Wow.
And I remember, and also I always say I should have known I was going to be an actor because there was a oh my God, Christopher Cross song that was about Laura on the show. It was called Think of Laura, but laugh, don't cry. It was a very, very well-known song. It was on the charts song. And I sat and listened to that song on my tape recorder while looking in the mirror and crying. Watching myself cry. I'd be like, replay it and look in the mirror and be like, watch myself cry, rewind the tape, watch myself cry. I should have known I was going to be in it. My mother should have instantly put me in acting classes because what are you doing? But, the family time and stories that are, they capture you every day, 5 days a week. I mean, crazy. So being on the show was a really fun kind of full circle moment.
Yeah. I was about to say that. Like, how cool that you got to be part of it then.
Yeah, yeah.
Way. That's great. Hopefully your family was watching that too then.
It will be out in June, so we'll see. But or we are in June. I don't know, some point. I think to your point though, I bet Hamilton is the thing that the generation, just will be like, that was the life-changing musical for me.
There's a question from a podcast I listen to is, what is the thing that you said culture is for me? I feel like this is the other part of that question is what is the thing that, oh no, I've forgotten the question, but I think it's along that same vein. So to Bowen Yang and to Matt Rogers, thank you for the inspiration.
So
Um,
go ahead.
I was about to do the same thing. You go ahead, Emily.
Our next guest that I want to ask you to ask a question
Yes.
for our next guest is Mika Cook. Mika spells her name Mica. So it looks like Micah, but it's Mika.
Okay.
She is an Austin, Texas based, she's a food photographer. She's a multi-sensory food enthusiast.
Okay.
And as she likes to put it, she's also a drama starter in the best possible way. So she has like a really cool website and right on the front page it says all the plates a stage and we are merely players.
That's cute.
So I'm wondering what question you might have for Mika.
Gosh. I wonder, has she ever been tired of seeing a chicken? Like, is she ever just done with a certain type of food that she has to take pictures of? Is there something where she's like, I will do it no more?
I'm writing this down.
You know what I
No
mean?
more quiche.
I mean, I did a commercial once and the food person had to put, it was for chicken something, I don't remember, some fast food. And they have a food person that's their whole job is to spray oil and stick steam up the butt of the chicken so that it comes out looking like it's hot and fresh. And and I just thought, how does one start that life? Were they doing that at Thanksgiving? What?
Right.
How does one become a person who sticks a tube up a chicken to make it look like it's fresh and juicy? I don't know. What's the trajectory of that world?
I don't know. I mean, I've done some food photography, but nothing to that degree where I'm taking artificial means to make it look fresher.
Yeah.
So we'll dive into that. So next Monday, live on our show, we will have Mika Cook.
Amazing. It's a good last name for that job too.
It is, right? Yeah.
Well, Vicky, I have to say this last hour with you, amid the internet issues that I've had, has been incredible.
Oh, thank you.
I have thank you. I have two last questions for you.
Okay.
One, would you come back?
Not to put you on the spot on a live
I'd
show.
love to. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. The last question I have for you is, if you were to sit down with anybody alive or dead and have lunch with them, who would be on the opposite side of that table from you?
Who would be? I mean, there's so many people dead and alive. The first person that comes to mind is Bette Midler.
Oh, yeah.
Fabulous answer.
I got to see her in concert a couple times. I watched Beaches 10 times in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of the first VHS tapes I owned. I just think, and now she's like political and I bet she's a freaking blast. And I would just love to have like any time getting to know her, becoming her new best friend.
Right? Yeah.
So
Bette Midler, we're going to be emailing you and connecting you and Vicky.
Oh my God, my dream. Do you know, I almost met her. Because I snuck backstage when it was her show. It was at the U of M. It was at the theater on the U of M campus. And so I knew a way in the back. So I snuck backstage. She was about 15 feet ahead of me. And I was walking toward her. And then a security person came up and said, "Excuse me, can I help you?" And I was so dumb. And I just got so nervous. And I just said, "No, I'm okay. But boy, your breath is good. Are you chewing gum?" And he's like, "Get out of here." I was like, oh, I don't know what I was thinking. I should have just said, "No, I'm okay," and just had confidence. But instead, I was just like, I'll befriend him by talking about Wrigley Spearmint gum. What? Ugh. I almost met my icon, and I messed it up by being a dumbass.
It may not be the last time, though.
I hope not. Ugh.
You know, Trey, we used to call people all the time on this show.
Mm-hmm.
We used to just be like, hold on, we'll get back on the phone right now.
Hold on.
We can't do that. Oh,
hi, sorry. Kamala Harris? Yeah, I need a favor.
A long time ago, that's who we would that was our go-to.
Kamala?
Yeah, we just call her up. She doesn't know this.
We got a lot of voicemail.
That's funny.
She would have gotten really annoyed by the reasons we were calling her too.
Yeah,
Be like, will you please leave me alone? I'm trying to work.
That's funny.
Well, Vicky, fabulous answer. As soon as we have Bet on the show, we will make sure to connect you two.
Yes, please.
We'll be like, oh, here, we just need to bring Vicky on the show too, quick, right at the same time.
I also missed Taylor Swift would have been my second answer. And I also missed meeting her on a phone call because my friend knew that I'm a Swiftie. And I went to the Eras tour and I'm obsessed. Mm-hmm. My friend was working a party at this fancy hotel, and she was there. And he said, he's the bartender, and he goes, hey, my friend Vicky's a huge fan. Would you say hi to her? And she went, sure. And he called me and I didn't answer. No, I didn't answer. And I saw that it was him, but I had COVID and I was like, ugh, I can't talk.
Let this be a lesson that you should pick up the phone for your friends.
Always pick up the phone. It might be Taylor Swift.
Can you imagine? You're like, what would you have even said? Do you know?
I mean, seriously, I probably would have been like, and then vomited. It would have been very ugly for everybody involved. But, so maybe I saved myself.
I feel like she, of all the people out there, would have been like, yeah, this is, of course you're doing this. Like she's so real.
Yes.
Like, she would have been like, yeah, I would vomit too.
Yeah.
Of course. This is normal. This is what people do.
Gosh. Well, Vicky, I want to make sure to plug some things that you're doing. You are on Instagram at Victoria Kelleher. You also have a website.
Kelleher.
Kelleher.
Sorry.
You also have your website, victoriakelleher.com. Are there any other?
TikTok. I'm on TikTok, a quickie with Vicky.
Oh. How did I not pick up on this? Well, we're going to follow you.
And I've just started a challenge with myself to post for the next 100 days every day on these platforms. So you might be sick of me, but I'll be there.
Yes. Okay.
That's cool. I'm definitely pulling that up and following you right now.
Awesome.
That's great. Yes, go follow, support, and Bet, if you're listening, get in touch with us so we can put you in connection with Vicky.
Dream.
Or Taylor.
Or Taylor.
Oh my God. Thank you, guys. It was really a pleasure talking with you both.
Thank you. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
For the little bit Trey was able to join us.
Yeah, I know.
Again, I'm sorry to our audience and to you, Vicky. But I will do my best to talk to my internet service provider and have some delightfully choice words.
There you go.
I'm trying to co-host a podcast. As we close out this episode, I do want to thank our audience for tuning in wherever you are tuning in from and however you are taking this episode or listening to this episode, I should say. You can find past episodes on our website at themodrom.com or wherever you happen to get your podcasts from. We do have some behind-the-scenes content available on our Patreon. Search for The Modrom on Patreon. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful evening, and we look forward to seeing you at the